Okay, so this is the first episode of the Commute. It's going to be a podcast or vlog. I don't know what you would necessarily call it, but or talk show, I guess. I'm just going to be talking about, my interests, what I've been doing lately, what has come up lately. And since this is my first one, I haven't really ever timed how long it takes for me to get home from work. But I think it's around 20 or 30 minutes. So each of these are going to probably be around 20 to 30 minutes. Maybe a little bit less because I might have to edit stuff out. So since it's the middle of summer, I got the AC on low. So maybe at the start, you'll hear some background noise. And also, if my phone just falls on the floor because of a turn, or if I have to stop all of a sudden, I'll edit that out so headphone users don't die. So, at least for this first one, I'm going to break it into different sections. The first one's going to be about video games. The second one about movies. The third is going to be about comics. And the fourth, if I get to it, it's probably going to be about Magic the Gathering. So let's start off with video games. Earlier this week, so I'm dating this video right off the bat. Earlier this week, excuse me, was E3. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to catch everything because of work. It's kind of annoying when that happens, but so what I did see was, let's see, what did I see on Sunday? Sunday was EA. I think it was something else too. All I remember is EA. And honestly, other than Mass Effect, Andromeda, some of the Star Wars stuff, it wasn't much of an interest to me because, of course, EA focuses so much on their sports video games, and then I just tuned that out because they brought in some soccer coaches or something, probably a football or basketball player. I don't know. I was just on my phone the entire time. I know they did some other stuff that I liked. I just can't remember it right now. That's one of the things about E3. At least it happens to me. It's yeah, there's a bunch of cool stuff, and somebody will ask you what? And you're stuff that was cool. So yeah. And then Monday, let's see, Monday was what? I believe that was Microsoft and Ubisoft and Sony. Yeah, I believe those were it. So I was at work when Microsoft was going on, and I caught most of that. And of course, since I was at work, I tuned some things in and out. I believe at the Microsoft one, it might have been at the Sony one, but I want to talk about it now. There was a trailer for Call of Duty Infinity, or Infinite, or no, it's Infinite Warfare, something like that. And yeah, that I didn't know what it was at first, and then as the gameplay trailer went on, I'm wait a second, these mechanics are pretty similar to a game I know, and I'm wait, is this a Call of Duty game? Lo and behold, it was Infinite Warfare. And honestly, it looked different. I never seen anything I knew Infinite Warfare or Infinity Warfare was announced because everybody was oh, Call of Duty 4 remasters bundled with this. That's bullshit. But yeah, Infinite Warfare looks interesting. I haven't played a Call of Duty game. No, I played Modern Warfare 3. I sat down, kid on my floor in college had it, and I just played through that in one sitting. So it's like a Saturday or a Sunday or something. Probably should have been doing homework, but no, that's what I did. I haven't owned one since Black Ops. No, you know what? I'm a fucking liar, because I played Black Ops 2 with some friends at their apartment. One of them owned it. So yeah. And it, it hadn't really changed all that much. Yeah, sure, different guns and stuff. But this looked interesting. Like you're flying a spaceship fighter. It was like Star Wars in the prequel trilogy, especially the third movie, I believe. At the beginning is the Battle of Coruscant. We're above Coruscant, and they got all the giant space battle. And so yeah, that was pretty cool. You have like a grappling hook. Hold on. Ooh. That was a weird sneeze. That actually kind of hurt. I don't know if I need to have that checked out if a sneeze hurts. But yeah, like, you can grapple onto stuff, which makes sense because it's, it's space. And you can also grapple onto enemies, and like you do a melee attack, but while you're in space, like you rip open their suit or like their visor or whatever, so they get killed by the vacuum of space. That was sick. Hold on, I gotta. So yeah, that was cool. Also at the Microsoft conference that I remember, because it piqued my interest so much that I actually stopped working for, the 2 or 3 minutes the trailer was, for an indie game called We Happy Few, or We Happy Few, like W-E Happy Few, because when I say that it sounds fucking weird, and it sounds like it's a Nintendo console. And yeah, it had this BioShock vibe to it, and I did some more research on it, and it's like an alternate history of England, and it's supposed to be this town, it's dystopian. I forget what the town is actually called, but it's kind of like a Clockwork Orange kind of thing, where, it's not the exact copy of Clockwork Orange, it just reminds me of it. Because in Clockwork Orange, there's like the personality experimentation, or rewrites like the main character's personality. Something like that. It's similar. Watch the movie or read the book. It's really good. But yeah, so it reminded me of that because everybody takes their happy pills, and in the trailer, like, it's someone's birthday, and they're like, to the main character, like, yo, like, hit the pinata, and like, he does, and it turns out to be a rat, and then like, one of the characters is like, oh, you're not looking so good, here, take a joy. The pills are called joys, and like, the main character's like, no, and she's like, oh my god, we have a downer, and like, these guards are chasing you, they're gonna try to beat you up with like a baton stick or billy club or something. You grab a pipe. And yeah, it seemed a lot like BioShock. It was interesting. And then that was followed about like 15 minutes or 20 minutes of Minecraft and VR. It was bullshit. I hated it. I honestly don't like Minecraft. When I did play it, like, I would play it for 2 hours and then I would get bored of it for like weeks. It's not for me. Some people definitely enjoy it, and I can see why. Like, it's not like, Minecraft. I don't see why people. I see why. The concept is cool. I just don't like it. But yeah, it was VR, and it was that like very scripted, skit. Like, they're trying to make it sound unscripted, and it's like, hey, we're friends, and no. I caught the tail end of the Ubisoft press conference, because it started at 4 Eastern time. I leave work at 4:30, and I totally forgot that it started at 4. And on the way home, I was like, oh shit, I missed the first half hour in it, So I caught the tail end of that. What was that Ubisoft? Aisha Tyler was. A lot of people don't like her at the Ubisoft conference, but I find her hilarious. Like, she's one of the best parts. What the hell was that Ubisoft? I think there was something about the Division, like a new expansion. Came in on the tail end of it. No, that was Sony. The Sony press conference was so great that, like, they told me Sony won E3 again. They did last year, and they pretty much did 2 years ago, in my opinion. And they just won it again. I was blown away by it so much that I can't remember what I saw at Ubisoft. But yeah, Kojima's new game, Death Stranded. Which is a weird name. It's like, oh, that doesn't make sense. It turns out Stranded is the formal term for beach. And it's really weird. It has Norman Reedus again, because he was going to be in Silent Hills before Kojima got sacked at Konami. And, he's naked, he has, handcuffs on with one hand, and, there's this weird, baby, connected to him with, an artificial umbilical cord, and, he races the baby, and then it disappears, and he's super sad, and, it shows his abdomen, and there's this huge scar, he was opened up. And then, the camera pans out, and there's all this, there's crabs and whales and other aquatic life just washed up on the shore, and in the sky there's 5 figures just in the distance, and then they all disappear into the clouds or mists or whatever. And people are definitely going to analyze it in the upcoming weeks and probably months. People already have, Norman Reedus had dog tags on, and they had equations, and people those kind of look like USBs than regular dog tags. It was crazy. The new Resident Evil 7 looks like this is a Resident Evil game. It seemed like a CGI trailer to me that seemed more like Outlast. I have not played the demo yet. I'm trying to play it. It probably won't happen until the weekend. But my friend did. And he was like, yeah, dude, it's more like Outlast. I'm like, what? No, and there's no combat in it, apparently. I'm not the expert, whatever. I can't say from experience because I have not played it. I really want to play the demo. I believe it's supposed to be the first hour. I think you need PlayStation Plus, but man, I'm excited for that. Sony also, they opened up with a new God of War. Kratos being a dad, so Kratos might actually be a character instead of just a ball of rage the entire time. I gotta speed things up. Horizon Zero Dawn looks great. There's a Final Fantasy 15 trailer. Looks looked amazing. I'm really looking forward to Horizon Zero Dawn. Main character, she looks cool. She kind of looks like, a futuristic version of the main character from Brave. I never saw that movie, but that's what I'm reminded of. And it's a post-apocalypse. It's not post-apocalyptic like Fallout. Civilization has started again and robot dinosaurs are roaming. It's really cool. So what did I say was next? Movies. Part 2, movies. I gotta move it along just based on where I am. So let's see. The movies I recently saw were X-Men: Days of Future Past and Elysium. I know they're pretty old, well, relatively old, I guess. Especially now that X-Men Apocalypse is out. That's the reason I watched Days of Future Past. And I watched the Rogue cut, so I don't know how that compares to the original movie. Some people say it's better, other people say it doesn't add a lot. I give it, a solid 7.5 out of 10. There were some really cool scenes in there. There was a lot less fighting than I expected in Days of Future Past. There's some futuristic fights, but I gotta say the coolest part in that entire movie is the Quicksilver scene. I don't think they actually refer to him as Quicksilver. Excuse me. Because Disney pressured Marvel to retcon Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch to be as they are in Age of Ultron. So they're no longer, in the comics, they're no longer the children of Magneto, if I remember correctly. I just started getting back into the comics again. That is what I heard. And so yeah, he's definitely Quicksilver. There's all these blatant references to being him Quicksilver. And the scene in the kitchen is great. If you have seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, I suggest seeing it. And at the very least, even if you don't like X-Men, just search X-Men Days of Future Past Quicksilver scene, or Quicksilver kitchen scene kind of thing. It's great. Elysium by David, or no, I don't remember the director's name. He's South African though. It was a pretty good movie. I give that a 7 out of 10. It was more of a generic action movie. I really liked the setting, the weapons. It was gory. That's not a bad, well, in my opinion, that's not a bad thing. But, the story of, Neil Blomkamp, something like that. He did District 9, Elysium, and Chappie, or Chapu. I haven't seen Chappie, but now I've seen District 9, and Elysium. It's, it's always fighting against the man. There's inequality, fighting. It's not the same storyline, but it's just so similar. And I heard Chappie's like that too, and just based on the trailers I saw, it seemed incredibly like it. So on to comic books. I don't think I'm going to have enough time for Magic the Gathering. So on to comic books, I read DC Rebirth, and Green Arrow Rebirth. And on the Marvel side, I read, Civil War 2 and a bunch of tie-ins for that. And man, okay, so spoilers for DC Rebirth. You're gonna see, on the screen when to, check back in if you have not read DC Rebirth. Or, if you don't care, just keep listening. Whatever, I don't judge. But man, DC Rebirth, I was totally out of the loop. I'm not usually a DC person. And, the Flash was, caught in between, dimensions and shit, and he's trying to, rally everyone together. And he's finally able to, tether into the world. And then it ends, and it turns out they're, putting the Watchmen in some way, because the Flash is yo, somebody outside of our timeline is, messing stuff up, and it's the Watchmen. I have no idea how they're gonna integrate that, but that got me into DC and Rebirth, so I'm gonna buy more comics of that. Civil War 2, pretty great. And again, I'm gonna put in on the video when to skip to if you don't want spoilers for this. Damn. But it starts out Ulysses is inhuman because Disney says fuck the X-Men, no more New Mutants. So Inhumans are created by the Terrigen Mist, and so if it goes over people, it can transform them into an Inhuman. If the mist comes in contact with mutants, it just kills them. So, yeah. Anyways, a new Inhuman, Ulysses, has the power to see into the future. But the thing is like he tells like pretty much the entire cast of superheroes in the Marvel universe. He's like, yo, this like thing is gonna pop out and it's like it can destroy the world. So everyone stops it. Everyone's able to stop it. And so he can see into the future, but the future can be changed. So he doesn't necessarily see like it's just a probability. It's a possible future. And Captain Marvel, she's like, yo, we gotta use this. We can like prevent so much bad stuff from going down. And Tony Stark or Iron Man is like, no, like, if you like, what if his own biases, like, what if he's, seeing the wrong things, kind of stuff. Like, what if they're not completely accurate because the world did not get destroyed? And so that sparks it off. And what really sends Tony Stark off is that Colonel Rhodes goes on a mission with Ultimates that Captain Marvel leads. And he gets killed by Thanos because Ulysses sees where Thanos is, and the Ultimates go and ambush him to stop him. And Tony's like, you see what I'm fucking talking about? Like, you guys didn't even need to go, and you did, and like people just got destroyed. So yeah, no, it's popping off for sure. So I'm really excited about Civil War 2. And I am coming up on the street of where I live, so I will not have enough time to get to Magic the Gathering. So, I'll have to leave that for next episode. I might not be able to structure these as well as I thought. So, this is going to evolve, and, hopefully I'll be able to get into a set structure, and it might just be like me just unstructured talking about stuff. We'll see. Well, who knows what the future holds? I mean, other than Ulysses, apparently.